Third eye to the sky, back to the wall. Race against time, we gon' risk it all. Down the dollar, just within the creator. The game never sleeps, we stay chasing paper. Third eye to the sky, back to the wall. Race against time, we gon' risk it all. Down the dollar, just within the creator. The game never sleeps, we stay chasing paper.
See, I'm legendary, never secondary. King Sweets, get it by any means necessary. Most of y'all rapping about shit you ain't never do. I was pimping, had my life to get a better view.
Hell no, that's not what we do. No, I want to.
Well, I'ma let it play, but I got a unique perspective. I mean, this a real Mexican here, Paisa, telling y'all what it is, and I'm gonna tell you what I learned from being locked up in Phoenix. What it is, you dig what I'm saying? But go ahead, I'm gonna let him say it, and then I'm gonna further go in on how I learned.
To this guy, he explains who he is. He's basically a shout out to Quantum Solace. He's basically a Mexican man, a real Mexican, a Mexican from Mexico who lives in Mexico. And I want you to hear what his thoughts are about the Mexicans, the Chicanos, born in the United States, who are waving his flag. All right, keep listening.
I'm in Tijuana. I was born in Tijuana, raised in Tijuana, and I live in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. To all these protesters, all these Chicanos, all these wannabe Mexicans that you
hear what he said?
Yeah, you hear what he said? He said wannabe Mexicans. I'm gonna touch on that, but I'm gonna let it play.
So he referred to the people over here who are born in America, who are Chicano, right, as wannabe Mexicans. Okay, so just so we can begin to kind of understand the intra-ethnic differences and maybe conflict that exists. I do know, having had some conversations with people from the United States who go visit Mexico, I do understand that when they leave the United States and they go to Mexico, the Mexicans don't necessarily treat them like Mexicans. All right, but you heard this gentleman refer to them, to the Chicanos, the same people up here causing trouble, burning flags, stabbing folks and whatnot. They're referring to them as wannabe Mexicans. So I want you to hear it from this guy again.
You are blocking the freeway in the United States of America. I would like to know, when are you coming? When are you going to come over here to Mexico to yell, there's no human illegal on stolen land? Because that actually, you should be yelling it in Mexico, right? If you are actually a Mexican. But in your birth.
Facts. Coming from a Mexican, a Mexicano, Paisa. I know about the Paisas. I dealt with them.
Certificate, guess what it says? It says that you were born in the United States of America. It doesn't say that you were born in Mexico. So you're not actually a Mexican national. You are a American with Mexican heritage that actually thinks that he's Mexican, protesting in the United States of America, causing a lot of traffic, blocking the streets, blocking freeways. The most disgusting thing about this is that you're using.
I don't get that, but I get what he's saying, but I don't get why they doing this. You dig what I'm saying? This, and you know, this to my regular Americans, especially my African foundational Black Americans. Yeah, this definitely y'all need to hear this, man. And y'all ain't hearing from him, and then I'm gonna explain why I know about this shit.
Our flag, and you're tampering with our flag.
Our flag. He does not count. This gentleman does not count the Chicanos, which are the Mexicans born in America, as Mexicans. Okay, I just want you to understand. I mean, this has been the most succinct explanation of the relationship that exists between the Mexicans of the Americans of Mexican descent and the Mexicans who live in Mexico that I've heard, and rightly so, because you know they are literally up here causing division, causing trouble, and it's a problem.
A foreign land, you were not even born in.
It sure is a problem, but you know I'm gonna let him finish it.
Mexico. In our Constitution of Mexico, it says that nobody should have the right to tamper with our flag. It's against Constitution. And you actually were born in the United States with a birth certificate that says that you were born in the United States of America, and you're using our flag, the Mexican flag, and burning another flag in a foreign country, making us look extremely bad.
Yeah, y'all looking bad, but y'all want blacks, foundational black Americans to join this fight. I don't get it. We can't relate. We ain't crossed the motherfucking border or nothing to get here. We was brought here, stolen. You know, I know some crackers. Y'all be like, oh, y'all sold yourself in slavery. If that was the case, why it's documented that some tribes fought back against the English? How they gonna fight back against something they agreed upon? That don't make sense. Like, don't let crackers tell history, your history. That's why it's called history, his story. Don't let them tell your story. That's why it's always good to research.
As using our flag as an act of division, but not only that, burning another flag as an act of war.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. That was the end of the clip. But he says an act of war. I fuck with that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he spoke facts. Now, I'm gonna talk about how I know about this shit. So, you know, a lot of people know my past. You know what I'm saying? I got jammed up in Phoenix, Arizona, to be exact. That's the only Phoenix I know. It might be another Phoenix, but Phoenix, Arizona. And when I did my little time, I learned about this culture. And you know, when the fresh meat come in, they yell paisa, paisa, because it be paisas. And I ain't know what that meant at the time. At first, when I first came in, but you know, I got laced up real quick. You know, one of the Mexicans that dealt with paisas, he told me, he said, yeah, paisas is, you know, a Mexican national, and you know, Chicanos is us Mexicans that was born here in America. They don't really, and paisas, and I noticed the relationship, they don't really fuck with the Chicanos. I'm like, but y'all Mexican. I was looking at it like, y'all still Mexican. I mean, even if y'all a separate group. And here, I know if it's a race war, y'all could click up and be the majority. Y'all already, the Pisces was the majority of the house. So, of course, they ran our house. It was only a few kinfolk. Kinfolk is, for those who don't know, kinfolk is black people. They chose to be called kinfolk. So we was kinfolk. It was only like a handful of us. And like two handful of, at one point in time, it was only 22 of us in there. It's like 150 of them Pisces. It's like, it was like 100, maybe 125 Chicanos. It was even 75 Peckerwoods. Shit, everybody was outnumbered us. And then the natives, they clicked up with the Chicanos because they didn't want to get fucked with. You know, even the Asians clicked up with the Chicanos. I mean, shit. But we couldn't. You know, kinfolk, they ain't going for that. You know, that wasn't. But what I noticed that even when they had beef, you know, if you're a Chicano, they're not gonna send a Chicano to do the dirty work. They'll send if you was a Paisa, my bad. If you was a Paisa and it was a problem that needed to be handled, they would send a Chicano torpedo. Torpedo is no force for the squares. They send a Chicano torpedo to handle a Paisa. They never sent a Paisa torpedo to handle a Paisa. They always sent the Chicano to handle a Paisa. And I noticed also that the Paisas hated the Chicanos more than they hated black people. Yeah, they ain't like us. I get it. I ain't tripping. Shit, I was only there for the meantime and not between time. You did. So I wasn't trying to be there. I ain't no life. I was there for a few months. So I had to learn the culture to get along with them. Shit, I was linking up with all of them. I ain't give a fuck. I know the main color they love more than they brown skin. They love the color green. And I said, see, that's where we can connect. And you know, that's why I did business with them. You know, they like me because I did good business with them. They didn't really like the other kinfolk, but I was telling them, I was like, look, bro, like, informed. I didn't really need to have it. I played the clip so y'all can hear it from a Pisa's mouth versus me just saying it. You know, I'm just further elaborating on how I know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I agree with everything that Pisa said, man. All right, and I'm out this motherfucker.
Third eye to the sky, back to the wall. Race against time, we gon' risk it all. Down the dial like Joshua dealing and creator. The game never sleeps, we stay chasing paper. Third eye to the sky, back to the wall. Race against time, we gon' risk it all. Down the dial like Joshua dealing and creator. The game never sleeps, we stay chasing paper.
See, I'm legendary, never secondary. King Sweets, get it by any means necessary. Most of y'all rap about shit you ain't never do. I was pimping, had my life to get a better view.